We are back. All right, UFC 298. I'm not going to waste a lot of your time. We're just going to jump right in. So, with the first card that we care about on the main card, I know that sounds harsh, but the other two, they haven't been around long enough for us to know much. So, I couldn't really give you any depth analysis, and that's kind of what I like to do. So, um, as you can see, all the leg reach and everything is stated here. Um, so 20% of Marab's wins are knockouts, while 50 are Cejudo's. 7% are sub for Marab, while 0% for Cejudo's. And decision is 73% for Marab and 50% for Cejudo.
Wow.
Um, so a little bit of differential here. Um, One of the biggest keys here is going to be the significant strikes. Aaron, why don't you cover that?
All right, significant strikes. We've got landed per minute, 446, almost 5 minutes. Almost a 4 minutes, so 393 for Cejudo.
That's significant
41%.
strikes. It's not minutes. It's landed per minute. Strikes landed per
Is it
minute.
really?
Yeah, it's strikes landed per minute.
Oh, okay. So we got 41% for significant strikes. We have 47 for Cejudo. 241.
Oh, sorry.
No, no, you're good. You're good.
Stole that. There you go.
241 absorbed per minute and 3.15 for Cejudo. 56 defense percent, 56%. I'm sorry. And then 60% for Cejudo. Cejudo's defense is pretty good. I won't lie. He checks a lot of things. He's
All
a
right, now
checker. I'll
we
tell
go
you
to
that.
the grappling. Takedown average. We've got 6.55 takedown per 15 minutes for Marab and 2.07 strikes per 15 minutes for Cejudo. Really close in takedown accuracy, 36 to 34%. And then defense, Cejudo actually has a 5% advantage, 78 for Marab, 83 for Cejudo. Submission average, as you can see there, very small,
Yeah.
minuscule. Okay, let's look at the odds. Right now, Marab is the minus
Wow.
198 favorite on the money line and a plus 164 for Cejudo. Okay, well, let's talk about why I think this is for a minute. So basically, Cejudo is older. He lost his last fight to Merab's best friend, who trains with him all the time. So, I mean, there are some advantages there.
But he's
However,
also in great condition though. He's super good condition. He still has his
he is.
fighting
It,
optimal. Like it's all there.
yeah, it's all there. But the problem is, as soon as you start talking about anything besides grappling, the edge is going to Cejudo. I mean,
Yeah,
when
I
we
I
were
won't
watching
lie.
film this week, we pointed out all he does is sit there, stand in front of you, really, wait, and then go for a takedown. Go for a takedown. Now, not
Yeah.
saying he's not successful at that and isn't on a good win
Mhm.
streak, but nonetheless, Cejudo has the advantage in the striking, and he has a higher takedown defense accuracy, so that favors Cejudo. It's a 3-round fight, so I mean, it really depends on who comes out the gate quicker.
That's right.
Um, we could be looking at a straight grappling match, or we could be looking at a thing where neither wants to grapple because they're afraid of giving the other one the opportunity. Um,
Yep.
we don't know, but for right now, my money, proverbial money, is on Cejudo.
Yeah, same here. I want to
Okay.
Cejudo.
All right. Next, Jeff Neal versus Ian Gary. All right, Aaron, that's you.
Let's go, Gary. All right. All right. Let's see here. Let's see here. Neil has a record of 15-5-0. And we got Gary, 13-0. Man, I want Gary to win so bad right now. United States for Neil. We got Ireland for Gary. 5-11 for Neil. 6-3 for Gary. Wow. Okay. Whole like other 4 inches on him. All right. 175 pounds for Neil. 179.60 for Gary. Only a few pounds. Not really that much. 75-inch reach. 74.5-inch reach. Kind of all there, to be honest. 41-inch leg reach. 42-inch leg reach for Gary.
Okay. All right. Now we've got the win by. 60% of Neil's wins are by knockout or TKO. Well, 54% that makes up for Gary. 13 for Neil are submissions, 8% only for Gary, and then 27 to 38% for decision. Well, we are looking at about a similar average fight time, 10 minutes, 11 minutes. Neil's looking at about one knockdown per 15 minutes, while Gary's just under. So there's definitely that. Here you take significant strengths.
Okay. So for sorry. So for significant strikes for Neil, 5.22 landed. 6.67 for what was it? Gary, my bad. 50% significant strikes for Neil, 56% strikes for Gary, 5.6 absorbed per minute for Neil, and then 3.58 for Gary. 50% defense, or is it 58? No, 58. I'm sorry. 58% defense and 53% for Gary. So I'm not gonna lie, the defense for Gary, it's really well, like for him, the defense is just there. It's there. Like we saw like how he fought. He is very strategic in the offense and the defense. I definitely want to go for Gary on this one. I definitely want to go for Gary on this one. I haven't seen much of Neil. He might be a very well mixed martial artist for sure, but I definitely do want to see Gary win this fight for sure and keep his winning streak. 13-0, that is impressive as hell. He needs to keep going
All
for
right,
sure.
so we got neither one of them are giant takedown people.
Mhm. Yeah,
Although
Gary
I
was
mean,
more of a stand and bank.
yeah,
He was
and so
much
is
more of like,
Neil.
hey, like come at me. Okay,
This
all
fight
right.
is very um barn burner potential.
Mm.
Let's look at the odds. Oh, sorry, my mouse is going haywire. Okay, so
Oh,
in the money
Gary.
line,
Okay.
Gary is a negative 245 favorite over Jeff Neal, and I can't say I argue with those odds
Oh my
because I am
God.
also going Gary.
This
So
kid, man, he's going far. He's gonna make it.
I'm gonna go far, kid. Robert Whitaker versus Paulo Costa. We've got a record for Whitaker of 25-7-0. 14-2 for Paulo Costa. Um, we've got last fight loss to the now champ Dricus du Plessis for Whitaker. Last fight
Mhm.
win for Paulo Costa, although I will point out that was a win over Luke Rockhold about 2 years ago, and Luke Rockhold was about 41. So, while I won't say he was washed up because he put up a good fight, I will say he was definitely on the downward slope. Um,
Correct.
and it's still been 2 years since we've up just about since we've seen him in the octagon. So, um, just a little bit edge of reach Whitaker by an inch and a half. The leg reach of Whitaker is actually quite significant. Almost, it's a 3.5 leg inch reach advantage there. Some of the things that I noticed when we were watching Whitaker's fight against Vittori was he was very round one he was very feeling out Vittori and what he was going to do. Round two he came up very a lot more aggressive and clean striking. And then 3, he just kept pouring it on while staying composed and accurate and not wasting any strikes or opportunities. He was very good about getting out of the clinch. Um, he uses his straight very much as a shield. He throws that right out in front of you as you're coming in to kind of back you off, and then uses that for a number of different stuff afterwards. He's got good takedowns. He's good just about everywhere. So that
Mhm.
is definitely something to look out for. All right, you got win by.
Alrighty. All right, we got Whitaker 42%, and then we have wow, we have Paulo Costa 85% for TKO. My goodness, 21% for submission, 8% for Paulo Costa, 38% Whitaker decision, 8% Paula for decision. If you want to scroll down a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You're
All
good.
right, there we go.
We have 1404 for average fight time. Okay. And 1040 for average fight time. Okay, so a round basically, literally like a round. They're kind of apart. 0.53 knockdown average and 0.7 for knockdown average. Okay.
All right. Now significant strikes landed per minute. 4.47 for Whitaker. 6.5 for Paulo Costa. 60% for Paulo Costa. 42% for significant strikes of Whitaker. Um, and 3.39 absorbed per minute. 6.38 absorbed per minute for Costa. Um, the defense is much higher on Whitaker's side, almost by a total of 13%. Um, and so that's definitely a factor. I love when it goes too high. Um, okay, grappling, you.
Okay, so for grappling Whitaker, we have 0.85 takedown average, and for Paula, we have 0.53. 39% takedown accuracy for Whitaker, 75% for Paula. Big increase for sure. 82% for takedown defense for Whitaker, 79% takedown defense for Paula. Very good neck and neck. Well, honestly, I wouldn't say neck and neck, but they're just right there. It's not too far off.
Yeah,
Um, Submissions have 0. Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
And the odds are negative 205 Whitaker favorite. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Um, I'm going to take Whitaker here. One, because I don't like Paulo Costa. I
Y- Wow.
definitely
I did
have
not know
made
that.
that very evident on this channel in the past. Um, I think he's a crybaby. I think he pulls out of just about every fight. I mean, this fight has been booked 3 times now. Finally, it's looking like we're gonna get this fight, but good night, dude. You're a fighter. Do your job and fight. They had to put. I saw something today that said they had to put extra stipulations in so that Whitaker would be, I assume, compensated if Costa pulled out again. Because my word, dude. I mean, first off, this dude is a Costa is a power puncher. All right, his
Mhm.
technique is meh. Most of all his stuff is power. Power, power, power. Whitaker's a lot more technical. I generally go for the technical because you can make up for power with technical. You can't necessarily make up for technical with power. However, that doesn't always play out that way. I still favor Whitaker. I feel like his signature jab straight roundhouse kick to the head is there. If
Mhm.
if Costa does his arrogant put my hands down and show me your best shot, crap, and I just feel like that is the
So are you saying that he doesn't really respect other fighters
no, I
in a
don't
sense?
that. I think he just is so confident or arrogant about
Mhm,
himself that he doesn't think anyone can do anything to him, despite him
mhm.
losing to Izzy. And I mean, he's had some other losses, but I mean, seriously, you're supposed to be one of the top middleweights in the world, and the last time you fought is 2 years ago because you pulled out of every other fight you were supposed to fight. I mean, you were supposed to fight Hamzat. You pulled out of that. You were supposed to fight Whitaker. You pulled out of that. My goodness. If only your punching was as powerful as your pullout game. Maybe
I was
you would
literally
interest
just
me.
about to say that. I cannot believe it. You took
Maybe
that
then
away
you
from
were
me.
interest me. But you don't because you are a loser. Sorry, that's a little harsh. But
And not
I'm
really.
tired of this dude. Okay, on to the main event of the evening. Aaron, take us away.
All right. We have Volkanovski, 26, 3, and 0. And we have, what's this guy's name? I forgot what
Uh
this dude's name is.
Ilya Taporia.
Deporia. All right. 14 and
Taporia.
0. Very Taporia. Okay, 14 and 0. Very impressive, but does not have a lot more experience than Volk. He's got I want okay, so add the 3 to the 26. I mean, what, that's 29. So he's had 29 fights. You've had
Yeah.
14. I don't know, but hey, we'll have to see about it tomorrow though, right? He lost his last fight. Uh Tyler, was it what's that
Makachev.
this guy? No. This guy. The other
What?
guy.
Taporia? He won his last fight.
No,
Oh,
yeah,
who
yeah,
is
yeah.
it
But what was
against?
yeah.
Oh, that was Josh Emmett. That was
Okay.
one of the ones we
Then-
scratched off.
Right, okay. All right. Volk is from Australia. Guy's
I
from
don't know why it says he's from Germany.
he's not
I
from
don't.
Germany?
No,
Is
he's
that a
Georgian and S- I'm gonna say this wrong. Spaniard. It's
Spaniard?
the
Okay.
way I know how to put it. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe he lives in Germany, but as far as I know, he lives in trains in Spain. But hey, I could be wrong. Another
Okay.
thing. Do the height, and then I'll get to it.
Gotcha. Pretty short people, I won't lie. 5'6" Volk, 5'7" the other guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Another way. The weight. This is where I was gonna stop you. This has not been updated. That was Volk's weight for the Makachev fight.
uh, Makes sense.
That was his for his last fight. They both came in at 145.5 pound, I believe, this morning at the weigh-ins. So there you go. Win by 52% knockout to TKO rate for Volk,
Well said.
31% for Ilya Taporia. 12% submission for Volk and 62% submission for Ilya. 36% decision, 8% for Taporia. Much less average fight time, and this is going to be crucial when we give an
Yeah, it is.
more in-depth uh, look at it. Anyway, knockdown average about per 15 minutes, nearly one per 15 minutes for Ilya, and a little and a point 60 differential less than for Volkanovski. Um,
I'm hoping Depori really upped his cardio because he's going
well,
into
it's
a
not even
five
that.
round.
It's not even that he has to up his cardio. He's had like 4 fights in the UFC.
Mm,
So he hasn't been fighting 5 rounds and he hasn't needed that cardio. His last fight against Josh Emmett was a 5 round fight.
mm,
But I mean, that was not. There's a difference between fighting Josh Emmett for 5 rounds, okay, and making
mm.
Josh Emmett look as silly as he did, because he did, and doing that to the greatest featherweight of all time. Anyway, you're on significant strikes.
Got it. 6.19 landed per minute, 444 landed per minute for Dupuy. 57% significant strikes, and we got 46%. We have 3.42 absorbed per minute, 3.05 absorbed per minute. Was that 58? Yeah. 58% defense, 67% defense. Pretty well, I won't lie. They're right there with each other, which is very I feel like it's very leveled for sure, but I want to say the experience is just not all there. So I'm not too sure for this guy, but I'm definitely going for Volk. I do know that for sure.
All right, not bad, not bad. Um, grappling. Let's see. Takedown average 1.84 for Volk per 15 minutes, 2.19 for Taporia, 37% takedown accuracy for Volkanovski, 56% takedown accuracy for Ilia Taporia. Uh, 92% takedown defense for Ilia Taporia. Wow. 70% takedown defense for Volkanovski. Um, 1.46 submission average attempts in per 15 minutes for Topuria, and then 0.18 for Volkanovski.
He
And
really
then
upped his staff for defense, huh?
I mean his takedown defense is
It's almost 100%, dude. That's
that's
crazy.
I mean okay, but like
Okay,
I
but we got to see
mentioned
it in
earlier,
action though, right? We do need to see in action though.
well, there's that, and there's you also have to look at it who he's faced compared to who Volkanovski has faced. He just fought
Oh, yeah.
Islam Makhachev, one of the best wrestlers there's ever been in the UFC ever. So his takedown defense is not going to be high as someone whose highest named opponent never uses his wrestling ever. It's just not going to be. That doesn't tell the full story, and that's why I think some people are thinking that Ilya is just going to run through because they see that stat and they think, oh, that's a big weapon out of Volkanovski's toolbox. He hasn't faced anyone like Volkanovski. No offense to Josh Emmett, but the leap and bounds between how good Josh Emmett is compared to Volkanovski is astronomical. But anyway, we will go to the odds. What? I'm sorry.
I've never seen this before. Hold on, they're both negative.
Huh?
It's got to be this. This has to be
Hey, I'm not
wrong.
a
No,
I'm not a gambler. Um, obviously, well, for those that know me, but why? First off, why is it this close?
that is way too close.
Now, I understand Taporia is power, and that's everyone's argument. I think it's again, we look at it
I'd have to
from
see
two
it. I'd
different
have to see
postures,
it.
but I still am not convinced that his power is enough. Now, he has good grappling, but again, Volkanovski just faced Islam Makhachev. You're going to tell me that Taporia is a better grappler than Islam Makhachev?
Yeah, I don't think so. Sorry.
I'm going to go with no.
Where Islam Makachev trains, he trains like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah,
Seriously, where he trains, it's crazy. It's so much discipline. You can't do anything. Like literally, you have to train nonstop. It's like a boot camp. It's like an army boot camp. I swear, but
dude,
mainly
boot,
for
boot
striking
camp's
and wrestling
easier.
stuff.
Boot camp might be easier.
Boot camp is easier.
Maybe. But what I don't understand, okay, is the money line. We'll talk about that for a minute here.
Yeah,
Alex Volkanovski's been running through his opponents, bar Islam Makhachev, like they're children to his giant.
yeah,
Alexander Volkanovski is just a phenomenal featherweight, a phenomenal champion who never ceases to show up. Now, there is the argument he did get knocked out in his last fight. True, but he was also coming off, it was like 11 days notice, which, right, that could have happened regardless of how much time he had to prep, but he wasn't in shape, and I just feel like that, for someone like Volk, is something he's just going to shake off. I feel
Mm,
like he's had enough time now. He's had a full camp. He's back to this weight class where he is the greatest of all time, even though he never says it. He will always say it's Jose Aldo and respect, the guys that came before him. But
mm.
I mean, in my eyes at least, he's passed Max Holloway after beating him 3 times. He's passed Jose Aldo after beating him, I believe, twice now, but I could be wrong on that. I just feel like it's not much of a debate anymore. And Volkanovski, I mean, he fights the top of the top of competition and has for years. Topuria is just now getting here.
Yep.
Like, if Volkanovski hadn't already run through all the other top 5 people, except for someone who just jumped to the top 5, Topuria might not be getting this title shot right now. Now, with that said, and I haven't been bad talking Topuria, I understand that. But Topuria is an excellent fighter who has a lot of attributes. However, a certain number 5 ranked featherweight, right below Ilia Topuria, because I believe he's 4 right now, tweeted out today that Ilia Topuria was the Wish.com version of Conor McGregor. That made me die laughing. I thought that was hilarious. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I could not believe I was reading it. I also couldn't believe the person who said it said it. I mean, it was just one of those, wow, okay, not where I saw that coming from, but I'll take it. But also, I mean, look, Volkanovski is his team are so good at finding holes in their opponents and exploiting that. I mean, look who's on his team. I mean, you've got Eugene Behrman, you got Craig Jones for the grappling. Also, look at his training partners. You've got Dan the Hangman Hooker. Okay, I mean, he's good, but he's, I'll admit, on the edge there. It's not superstardom. Um, you've got Israel Adesanya, who's like his best friend and favorite training partner. Okay, first off, one of the best strikers, okay, hands down, to ever be in the UFC. Then you've got Kai Kara France. You've got all these killers that come out of this gym. I don't know who Ilya is training with. And that's not even just me being ignorant. This guy is new on this scene. And yeah, this is his first championship fight, his second only time being in a 5 round fight, at least in the UFC. Those lights are going to shine bright on him tomorrow. How does he deal with that? Because, listen, okay, so Taporia came out in Media Day this week. And actually, I believe he said this last week on Ariel Hawani's show, but don't quote me on that. He said that um, if I win the belt, Yair Rodriguez, Max Holloway, and Brian Ortega are never getting a title shot ever. Okay, so all the people who are pretty much every single one of those I just named are ranked above you right now, and you win the belt is not going to get a title shot ever. First off, you don't call that shot. Second off, this is the second time I'm stating this because I did make a video last week about these comments, and I had to stop myself from posting it because it was so angry ranting that it borderline could have gotten me sued. I was angry. And I just was like, it's better I don't turn into a Stephen A. Smith. But no offense to Stephen A. Smith. No offense. All respect. Respect my my elders. But I think Volkanovski is going to be too strategic for Toporia's power, and his arrogance is going to be something that he's going to have to downplay. Because if Volkanovski goes in there and humbles him tomorrow, is he gonna quit? I mean, I don't think he will. Obviously, it doesn't really happen much, but I mean, that can break a person's career. You have that much confidence, and you just get showed you're nothing. That you don't belong here. You were an idiot for thinking you did. Do you give up? Do you
Uh,
consider?
no, absolutely not. That's not. You don't give up just then and there.
Well, yeah, you would think, but I mean,
Would you
we
would
don't
you think
know.
that he would would you think that he would kind of beat himself up because
Well,
he's
absolutely,
gonna
he would
lose
have to.
his winning streak?
Well, he'd lose his winning streak. He'd
That's
have
a
to
big winning
swallow.
streak, dude. That's
He'd have
13.
to swallow his words. He's been talking really confident. I mean, dude, he put in months ago after this fight was first announced. He went into
Mm.
his Instagram bio and put 15-0 new and UFC featherweight champ. That's how confident this guy is.
Whoa, okay. He might get
Then
karma. I'm just saying, he might get karma.
he steals Volkanovski's belt to take pictures with it during media day or whatever. Okay,
Mm.
Volk was measured with that. Then he pulled the Connor to Jose Aldo and stole it off the podium during the press conference. And well, you know what? We're gonna be nice to our fans, and we're just gonna show them what his response was.
Yeah, let's do that.
My screen showing already?
No, not yet.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna watch the full send MMA short. Okay, and then we're gonna go right on here, share screen.
He took advantage of taking a photo with the belt, and that.
Damn.
Like I
Oh,
said, you
Volka's
may as
ready
well
for
take
that.
advantage of it now. You're never going to see it again. Not until I teach you a lesson. Maybe one day you can be a great champion. I'm going to kick your ass first. You'll learn your lesson. Maybe you can bounce back after that. But till then, get your hands off my belt.
That is angry Volkanovski. First off, no one angers that guy. That guy is calm and composed. I mean, Brian Ortega sort of got on his nerves, but that's because they were filming The Ultimate Fighter for several weeks constantly around each other. So, I mean, you can get on anyone's nerves, then the person you're supposed to go in there and fight on.
I
But
bet you he did that. I bet you he did that just to like hype everyone up and just maybe like
no,
maybe it was. Are you sure? Like maybe it was scripted. Maybe that part was scripted.
no, it wasn't scripted. I mean, he
No?
might have
Okay.
had a plan to do it, but it definitely wasn't
Yeah.
the UFC scripting it.
No, no,
I
no, no,
think it was
no, no, no.
him.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it scripted. I mean like he probably planned for it
That's
beforehand.
possible.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of that image of him stealing the belt is what made that person tweet out the Wish.com version of Conor McGregor. Because that's exactly what Conor did to Jose Aldo. Jose
That's
Aldo was a
dude, that's so
lot less
messed up.
composed in his response than Volkanovski, but that's not the point. The point is, will he back up his words? You've talked all this. That's great. You've hyped up this fight. Congratulations. But now
He
you got
did
to
do
back it
that.
up. But now
Yeah.
you got to back it up, or you're gonna have a lot of people turn against. according to Full Send MMA, John Anik, and I believe there were a couple more that I could probably name that made similar statements. The press conference yesterday was the loudest they had ever heard or seen. So I mean, those were public comments of theirs. One was made at the press conference, the other was in a Instagram reel Full Send made. And it was just the people of Spain and the country of Georgia really want this guy to win. But I have a feeling that Australia is going to show them that when it comes to this octagon, we're not going anywhere. I mean, Volk had a quote earlier. It was how quickly they forget what I've done, what I've accomplished, who I am. He is, in my opinion, going to not necessarily wipe the floor with him, but I do believe he'll beat Ilia Topuria. And with that, folks, we are going to call it there. We will see you all next time.